Collimating Scrum. So what can be the solution? Product owner now makes sprint backlog ready for review by second Friday EOD, 2 days before. What product owner did earlier, it has to do 2 days before for the first sprint, and then that will continue for the remaining sprints. So there is a workload initially for the product owner for one sprint to ready this sprint backlog 2 days before the normal time. And then this will continue for second Friday in every sprint. Sprint release to happen on first Tuesday of next iteration. This is delay of 2 days for the release. And adjust the resource work by assigning 2 to 3 tasks for a day with proper defined priorities. Now initial look, if you define 2 or 3 different type of work to a resource, it seems that more work, but it actually doesn't. Working on one similar type of work, one same work for the whole day makes the team member very fatigued or puzzled. Context switching once or twice in a day actually refreshes your mind. So that will result in better productivity also. If a developer is working on development for the whole day on a single functionality, instead if he is having another task of bug fixing on the same day in parallel with a properly defined priority, he can devote 2 to 3 hours to the bug fixing and then remaining hour in his story for development task. Let's see. Look at this. This is same. Planning meeting will happen on the same day. Forget about this view written over here. Just see, developer will start development on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and same to the previous one. They start giving QA request from Wednesday and Thursday. And Friday is the deadline. The only thing changes is product makes next iteration sprint backlog ready by Friday. Now how things changes over here. On Monday, the development team's main task is requirement analysis for the next iteration. And bug fixing if bugs are there. Then this should come in the top priority over here. The Tuesday will be for bug fixing, top priority, so that release should happen properly. And if developer is having time, then analysis and task breakup and estimation in the sprint backlog. This reduces lot of load that team member having on Wednesday. Now there is only review and retrospective meeting and just a backlog refinement meeting because sprint backlog has already been estimated. Now the start of the next iteration comes over here. They will have the planning of the next meeting and commit. Bugs of last iteration will be the second priority on the first Thursday because planning meeting of next iteration is on higher priority. But if you go to the Friday and Monday, the first Friday and the first Monday of the next iteration, you will see of last iteration is on the top priority so that release should happen properly. And if developer gets time, start working on development of this iteration. And then again development. This is the dedicated day for development, QA request, bug fixes. And if you see, on Friday, developer get some rest if their development work is complete and bug fixing is complete. So more uniformly distributed workload, where there is less question of available bandwidth. If you see the QA team, they will attend planning meeting of the current iteration, prepare test cases. With this, if you see the priority, this is the testing of previous sprint. After completion of planning meeting, they have to work on testing of previous sprint. Then this is regression is on top priority. First they do the regression, if gets time, prepare test cases. Then they will create the release plan on Monday, if gets time, prepare test cases. Then on the Tuesday, they make a release, and if gets time, prepare test cases. So prepare test cases here in the second priority only to utilize the bandwidth. And normally in these 3 days, they definitely get time at least in 2 days. So this is again a better utilization of resources. Then dedicated days for preparing test cases and testing. So again they are having 2 tasks. Top priority, prepare test case then testing. Prepare test case then testing. If they don't have anything to prepare as test case, just do the testing. And on Monday, because the next sprint is ready by second Friday. I will just clear the marks. Because the next sprint is ready by this Friday, they can do the requirement analysis of next sprint. And if gets time, continue testing on the current sprint. But on Tuesday, the priority gets changed. The priority for testing the current iteration is higher. And if they have some clarifications, they can do in requirement analysis with the product. So if you see how these challenges are addressed, number of days dev resource have only 1 task or 2. These are the 2 days when development team member is having only 1 work to do. All rest of the days with proper priority, they have 2 works. What I mean to say is, this is if Friday is the day for bugs of last iteration, fixing bugs of last iteration. If there is no bug, do the development work. Similarly on Monday. So if you see, the things are more managed, streamlined, and more and better use of the bandwidth of resources. Similarly, this happens with the QA. They have just 1 day that have only 1 work. Otherwise, all other days they have 2 work with proper priority. So bandwidth is streamlined and more managed and more utilized. Here, earlier there were a lot of workload with the team, development team. But these 2 days work actually improves not only the workload, but also improves the analysis time. It gives a difference of 3 days total to think about the requirement. And developer member, team member will come out with more open questions to the products. So at the end, during the planning meeting of next iteration, the requirement will be much more clearer than what in the previous example that I have taken. That was not collimated Scrum. So all these challenges are addressed here. Earlier there were 5 days. Earlier there were 5 days. Now only 1 day, where the team members are having only one work. So makes QA having spare time on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This has been resolved. Makes development team having some bandwidth on second Friday. This is again resolved. Almost 100% stories were in QA on the end of second Friday. Makes development team having bandwidth on second Monday and Tuesday. This is resolved because now they are having a task of next sprint analysis and estimation. Very less time for story requirement analysis. This is again resolved because they are having now a span of 3 days to think about requirement and ask questions to product. So the requirement will be more clear on the day of planning meeting and commitment day. So I think I am clear with my my opinion on how the Collimating Scrum will be beneficial. Now, Collimating Scrum benefits. More evenly distributed workload. This we have already seen. Sufficient time for requirement analysis and story estimation. Improved estimation. Better code. Reduced risk. Less bugs. Better utilization of resources that increase productivity. Overall improved efficiency and productivity. Conclusion. Address the issue of resource utilization and result in much smoother iteration with increased productivity. Changes are universal and are more likely to happen in Scrum because Scrum is fast, iterative, and release or functionality completes every 2 or 4 weeks or 3 weeks at a regular interval. There is always chances for improvement in any projects. This is universal. Scrum is more sensitive to its environment because it's fast. Similar processes implementation in different projects can be dangerous. This is very important. If you are having 5-7 projects, you cannot implement same processes in Scrum framework in all the projects. Processes should change depending on the requirement of Scrum framework for that particular project. This is very important.